When you had left me that morning, I cried till I could barely breathe. I laid flat on our bed, clutching and tearing away at my heart like it would make it feel better. Was the world collapsing in on itself? No doubt it was in my mind. Wars were long and fatal. When would you return? No one was sure when the god-forsaken war would end. We had promised each other to return to one another. I just hoped it wouldn't have to be in another life. Though the gods above were gracious, they were also cruel at times. I just hoped that our promise to one another had truly been ordained by the gods, that their keen eyes had been watching that day. I was still clutching at your letter when Vittoria arrived to retrieve me from the dark hole that was the fourth palace. I simply could not move. My knees locked in place. Though this palace had been full of painful memories, it also contained memories of you. This was a place where we had shared so many memories. How could I possibly let it go? Perhaps just another irrational fear of mine, but if I left, where would you be? I could not simply stare out of my window to see the ghost of you in the rose garden, where we shared meals and secrets. But in the end, I left, leaving memories of old behind and looking forward to fostering new ones in the future. Within the 4 years that had passed by, I wept, grew, and learned. In your absence, I had others, friends and family I could depend on. Though I was frightened, I moved forward. I was free now, after all. Within the first few months, I grew ill. I thought at first it was my lovesickness manifesting itself, but I realized that it was indeed our love. I still had a part of you with me. I wrote to Lio about it. It was funny to realize how frightened and happy I was placing my pen down on the paper. I remember you eventually got the news too, and you wrote back about how much you wanted to return home. Told me. But you stayed, knowing it was better for you to finish what you had started. Luckily, I had others to take care of me. From then on, I saw the world in a different light. Joy. So much joy. I began to work with those I trusted to regain some semblance of my powers again. I didn't need to poison myself anymore. I met the people and worked in your absence. Of course, I didn't write to you about it, since I wanted it to be a surprise when you came home. I became so busy, the days on the calendar flew by. I was learning so many new things in my new state of freedom. Of course, even as the seasons passed by, I still missed you. But you were still present in some ways. The shimmer of your dark hair in the sunlight, the shape of your eyes, and a kind smile. We continued to exchange letters, and you would try to read them too. We would speak of our days, sometimes boring, sometimes eventful. War was frightening, even to a seasoned warrior. Not only did the Vorso prove to be problematic, but so did the blights that came along with war. But you assured me in each letter that you were nearly done, that you would be home soon with us. The volume and waiting time between each letter varied. You were always concise and wrote little. But sometimes you'd write me a whole 2 pages. I cherished each and every one of the letters, even if it was a simple little scribble of our family because you didn't have time. But then the letters stopped. Right around the time the war ended. At first I thought, oh, the final battles at war had just become too hectic to write any letters. So I just waited for you to come home with my brothers, hoping that my irrational thoughts were false. But I was mistaken. I wish I wasn't. Lio! Livy! Congratulations on your swift victory. I've missed you too. Welcome home. I'm well. Thay's on bed rest. She got sick recently from the cold. Livy, you should go and see her. She's been begging to see you. Seiya's tending to work as usual. She watched you from the gates, but she had to go. Father has been a bit troublesome as of late. Yes. It is because of her absence. Still. I shall see you later then. Oh, Lio. Tori's in her study. She's working away as usual. She's quite busy, though, if you'd like to pay her a visit. Lio? You know, me and Arlen were watching you all as you walked through the gates. So, where is he? You know, I worried lots since his letters stopped. I didn't see him down there with you. And I could spot him from a mile away. He wasn't there. Lio? Why do you look like that? He's gone. Stop joking, please. What's wrong? Lio, tell me what's wrong. Where is he? Lio, look at me. Look me in the eyes right now and tell me. Where is he? Where's Anium? Where is he? Please. I beg of you. Oh. This has to be a joke, right? There's no way. Say something. Anything. Why are you just standing there? Please. God, please. Lio. Where is he? He can't be. He's the Plectary Knight. Please. He can't be. He promised me. He promised us that he'd come back home. What is this? Is this his cloak? Oh no, please, no. No. Where is it? Where's Enium's body? He could be out there. He could still be alive out there, Lio. If his body isn't here, he can't be dead. Right? Right? I refuse. He's not dead. I don't care if some blight swept him up. He's not dead. He's not. You have no proof. I told him I'd wait, and that's what I'll do. I'm not giving up. I'll never give up on him. I can't. I just can't. No! You don't understand, Lio. We do not give up. House Elaysia does not give up. Not on anyone or anything. I refuse. He's not dead. You can't tell me otherwise. He's not. We made a blood oath. The gods saw our promise. He's not gone. He's not. I'm not being naive. Do you really wish to extinguish any hope I have left in this world? He's out there. He'll come home. I'll hold on. I'm not giving up on him. He wouldn't give up on me. I can't give up for him. He believes he'll come home just as much as I do. Yeah. You haven't met him yet. He hasn't met him yet. Lio. And so, months passed by again. But this time I was mourning over your disappearance. But I could not lose hope. In my mind, you're still out there. Somewhere. Anywhere. You had to be. You promised. We promised. I felt rage. So much rage. In the first few days, I could do nothing but cry. I buried myself in the letters you had sent me. Your blood-stained cloak sat in the corner of my room, haunting me. Where did you go? Sometimes at night, I'd clutch the tunic you left behind while I slept. But unlike the old me, who had been drowning underneath a constant barrage of despair, I had to move on. I had to move forward. I could not simply wallow in my sadness forever. There were people who depended on me now. My people and my family. He depended on me and needed me the most. And so, the days passed by. Again. This time, I was smiling. For him and the people around me. I could not simply despair. I needed to move forward. I was strong. I was free. Thanks to you. I say this like I'm the Plecteri Blade who can simply move on so easily, but I'm not. In truth, it still hurts me. This waiting and longing. I've never found myself so desperate before. Long before I had reunited with you, I'd sit in my room and stare out the window, waiting for someone to save me. To save me from Despina, from all the horrors that I had bear witness to. Then you came into my life again. Your worried face, all the same. We spent a few seasons together, and then you were gone. In the end, she was gone. And in the end, I reached my hands out toward others. I would be okay at the end of the day. I wasn't alone anymore after all. I still had a piece of you. But I suppose this is enough lamenting for today. I have things to do after all. Lux! Sweetie, where are you? Auntie's had enough of hide and seek now. It's not even summer yet, and it's already so warm. I wouldn't have worn such an elaborate dress if I knew I would be playing with him today. I'd rather he be rowdy as usual. At least then I could hear him. I think it's time she hired a tutor for him. And Lux is starting to show signs of magic already. I didn't think I'd be spending my free time babysitting. Oh well, it's the least that I can do for her after all. She really needs her rest nowadays. Now, where could our little ray of sunshine be? Let me think. Where would he hide? I know! Taros, step aside for me. Yes? Please step aside. That's where our little prince is. I should have known you were hiding behind him. Auntie had no clue. You're such a good little hider. Anyway, Luxie, aren't you tired? We've been playing for nearly an hour now, and it's quite hot out, isn't it? This month is very warm. Well, Auntie is very tired, and I think I deserve a break. Do you want to keep playing? How about you play with Uncle Taros then? What? You don't want to? Aw, look at him. I think you may have hurt his feelings a little. Well, it can't be helped. All right then. What do you want to do instead, sweetie? Well, your mother is sleeping right now. It's a lot of hard work carrying your little sibling, you know. In a few months, you'll be able to play with them. Anyone else you want to visit? Your father is busy in the study room as usual. He's busy helping out Uncle Lio. Very important work. But they'll play with you later, all right? Well, of course they will. Sometimes they're just very busy or too tired. It happens to everyone, just like you when you need naps. But when they're done, I'll make sure they'll play with you. I promise. Oh, Arlen? Actually, that's a good idea, Luxie. Arlen is in the library with his instructor. You're playing around with magic nowadays, right? Don't you want to learn more so you can be even stronger and better? You could probably catch up to your cousin if you put some hard work into it. You are very strong. Wouldn't it be fun to become strong together? All right then. Would you like to go to the library and check out what your cousin is doing? Very good. Taros, could you go and take Lux into the library? Thank you. By the way, you've been doing quite the swell job so far, even though you're new at this. No, I'm not being biased at all. You have a good heart. And just because you're going to become my brother-in-law doesn't mean a thing. And tell Arlen that I'll make an omelet for him when he and Lux are done. Thank you. Now be on your way. Finally, a bit of peace and quiet. It's been so lively as of late. Both Arlan and Lux are growing up so quickly. Soon, Lux will have another sibling. Her family is going to grow so much larger soon. Isn't it? It's expanding by the day. Even Seiya's gotten engaged. Though I'm not sure how that'll turn out. How the time flies. I suppose Arlen is exactly like him. To think he'd already pick up such interest. Though he won't be doing any sort of real training till he's 10. So many things to look forward to. Right? You must be strong. You can hold out. Alright, let's get on with our day. I think I should head back inside and work. I suppose I'll need to visit Ladle soon, won't I? I should write tomorrow soon before I arrive at the Aeronome estate. I'll need to talk to Seia about it. I hope she isn't too busy. I'll also need to prepare for St. Steria's arrival as well. I'll need to also write many letters today, I suppose. Alright. Better not waste any more time pondering. Excuse me? Who are... My... Knight? Is that you? I must be exhausted again. I only ever dream of you. How... The brooch... This... You're real, aren't you? I don't understand. It's you. You're really real. My knight. My knight. You're real. You're home. You're really here. You're safe. You're safe. Thank the gods. You're safe. Where did you go? You're back. You're back. You're back. Just let me stay like this for a moment, please. I'm afraid that I'm dreaming, like usual. I don't want you to go away again, like every morning. Please just stay like this with me. Don't go, please. You're so warm. Just like before. This isn't another dream. You're real. You took so long. You took too long. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're here now. That's all that matters. You're all that matters. I missed you too. I missed you so much. You have no idea. I never gave up hope. My wishes and prayers came true. Every birthday, I just wished for you to come back home safe, and here you are with me again. I just knew that you had to be out there somewhere. You're far too strong to have just died. Yeah, you're the Plectary Knight. You wouldn't have simply been killed so easily by an undead. I was so scared. When Lio came home with the news, I just couldn't believe it. I was grateful that you saved his life, but I just couldn't come to terms with you simply being dead. I just cried my eyes out for days. I felt so alone all of a sudden. I'd waited for so long for you to simply, well, think Verena, it wasn't true. You're alive and here now. I've been well. Happier now that you're here. It was a rough few months. I had a hard time coping. Every night I just wished that you were beside me like you were supposed to. Of course, he's well too. Arlan is growing up nice and strong, just like you. He's always talking about meeting you. I tell him stories about you at night before he sleeps. He looks just like you too. He has your smile and he has my eyes and your hair. I think he'll grow as tall and strong as you too. Considering that all he eats is eggs. I've been practicing omelets. He even got a silly little scar on his arm from roughhousing with Lux. I told you about that one in one of the letters last year. He hasn't gotten any new ones. I've warned him to be careful. Seems like you got a lot of new scars. Didn't you? This one seems like it hurt a lot. It's different from your other scars. Say, what happened to you? Why did you disappear? I only got a few details from Lio about the incident right before your disappearance. The battle, the blight, this strange light. But what really happened out there? I'm not quite sure I understand. But that doesn't make any sense. Perhaps like me, it was divine intervention. So, he woke up in the church? How many months ago? Only one? I'm not sure what to make of this information. Does Lio know? Well, of course he would know. He's always one step ahead of me. I just don't quite understand. I'm just glad you're home. It's all. It doesn't matter how. You're here. That's all that matters, right? And I'm in your arms again. That's all I ever wanted. for you to come home to me. I love you. I love you so much. No matter what happens to us, we'll always find our way back, right? We promised, after all. I'm all yours. And you're all mine. You know, this is silly, but I was afraid that while you were off so far away from me, you'd grow less fond of me after so many years apart. Clearly not. I was just anxious. I've never been quite fond of myself, and it's a bit difficult to accept anyone would love me. It was silly to have such thoughts, after all. You didn't forget me all those years ago either, right? You were that boy that helped me at my brother's coronation. So, it was really you. I told you, I'm nosy. You were so familiar, but I couldn't quite figure it out. Silly, really. I remember dancing with you briefly. You were a bit smaller back then. I suppose that's why you knew how to dance at Cornelia's ball. Time can sure make people unrecognizable. Yes, but you're still as handsome as ever. I wish that I had remembered you immediately, but I suppose the fog in my brain wouldn't allow me. I didn't change much. I've changed plenty over the years. Oh, never mind. That's not the point. There's that sweet little smile of yours again. I really can't believe you withheld so much information. Both you and my brother. He knew the entire time. Well, I was just there sitting in ignorance. Well, because you hid something from me, I hid something from you too. Well, I haven't been entirely truthful in our letters. Over the past few years, apart from therapy with Vittoria and Kay, along with lessons from Cornelia and Adel, I've been up to other things as well. Now, this may come as a surprise to you, and, well, don't get me wrong. You've just come back, and I'm not casting you away, but I'm no longer in need of your services as my guard. You're far too special for that. No, I just wanted to give you this, Grand Duke of Ladle. Yes, this is the deed to your estates, signed over by Raezoa. After the trial was over, Raezoa obtained the title, but didn't want it. He still believes that you're the rightful heir, so he decided to fork it over to you, considering he got his own title from Lio. As such, it is now under your control. But in your absence, I've been working with your cousin, Lady Mara, to care for your lands. See? I told you I would settle things. Indeed, I am like my brother. After the whole fiasco with Raezoa, I had some sneaking suspicions after finally meeting him again after so many years, and I realized you two look so similar. It's silly, really, that I didn't recognize you immediately. I practically grilled him for information. I asked him so many questions Vittoria had to pull me away. Anyhow, the land of Ladle is no longer owned or taken care of by your parents ever since they were imprisoned for their dishonesty. And so I understand now why you left. It makes sense with your righteous heart. What they did was wrong, but now you can do right by your people and fix what they did. So, you are free to do as you please. Currently, Lady Mara is stewardess of the Aera estate. Really, Resias has no interest anymore. He's having more fun being the right-hand man to the future emperor. Over the past few years, I've been taking care of your lands on your behalf. Now they're not back to their peak yet, but it's a start. You'll see. They're much happier and brighter now. Well, after Despina, I was free to do what I wanted. Eventually, after some rough lessons from Mara and help from a few nobles, I was able to help a little. It's a fitting reward, after everything you've done. For all of us. For all the people you've saved. Like your encounter at the gorge. Those 200 men, they would have turned, if not for you. Ardor's men were tough. That's why you have a scar on your face now, right? And again, just like with this war, you saved my brother, and all those other people during the Blight. And you saved me. When I had nothing. When everything was so dark. You were there to help me. I truly thank you for everything you've done. It is a great honor to return what was yours in the first place. You deserve it. And even though I have established good relations with many of your people, I think it would be nice to see their true lord at the head of the household. Considering my personality, it was a bit tough at first to get along with them, but we learned to understand one another, and I'm quite familiar now. I've tried to visit every town at least once. I'll be heading down there in a week with Arlan to visit other family, and to deal with a bit of business. You can come and see the progress, and it'll be our first trip as a family. Of course, you just got back here so you can rest. We really have all the time in the world. Before we go to make any official moves anywhere, we can just stay here. I still live with Vittoria, but I'll ask Lio to move to a vacant palace now that you're here. But really, anywhere with you and Arlen is fine. We're a family now. Well, I suppose it really isn't official till I become First Princess Aera, Grand Duchess of Ladle, right? I think I've waited long enough. Yeah? Are you really feigning ignorance after all this time? Come on. Are you really trying to track it out of me? Fine. My knight, you're the only thing I've ever truly yearned for. You've already granted one of my wishes, and now I'd like another one. I no longer wish for you to be my guard, but my husband. Was that enough for you? You're so silly, even after everything that's happened. Will you accept my proposal already? Finally. It's been a long time coming, hasn't it? I can't wait to start our new life together. Well, I'll be in your care from now on, and I'll make sure to take care of you too. Now, I think that's enough for our reunion. We'll have time later tonight. You have someone extra special to meet, don't you? Arlen's going to be so excited. He's up in the library. A family. I finally have one. Thanks to you. I love you. Now let's go up and see our son. Welcome home, my knight.